Good morning, children. Last class, we discussed about force. So it is happen under the field of magnetic field. So we can say magnetic Lorentz force. So this force was act by the moving charge when it is placed in a magnetic field. So that were discussed in last class. We derived the formula. We got the formula. So what Lorentz derived? F is equal to BQV sin theta. F is equal to BQV sin theta formula we got from the magnetic Lorentz formula, and also we discussed many points. So like the force is maximum when the moving charge, the velocity v, is perpendicular with the magnetic field. If the charge is rest, it won't give any force. Or if charges move along with the magnetic field, there is no force. So everything we discussed in last class, and also we finished our class with example 3.17. And now we'll begin our class, the example 3.18. In this sum, we'll use the 11th chapter topic. So in 11th volume 1, we did derivation in unit number 4 that we are going to use in there. I hope you all well versed about that unit number 4, 11th standard. Okay, so let us read out the question. Listen the question. Compute the work done and power delivered by the Lorentz force on the particle. Okay, so compute the work done and power delivered by the Lorentz force on the particle of charge q moving with the velocity v vector. Calculate the angle between Lorentz force and velocity of the charged particle, and also interpret the result. So we have to explain about the result too. In this solution, we know the useful formula for magnetic Lorentz force is F vector is equal to Q of V cross B vector, V vector cross B vector. Then we have to find out the work done. That is question. Also, we have to find out the power too. So first we will find out the work done. So work done, we are using the formula W is equal to integration F vector dot dr vector. Why integration? We are combining all the forces. No, first we'll apply for small force, then we'll combine for all. That is written as integration F vector into dr vector. So that is expanded here. F vector dot v vector dt. Then work done we can substitute it here. W is equal to Q is taken out. In this we are substituting the F from where? From magnetic Lorentz formula. So after substituting, Q is common, taken out. We are applying the integration for V vector cross B vector dot V vector. So that is in formula itself. dt is equal to 0. So the work done is decided here as 0 because V vector cross B vector means here perpendicular to V vector. V vector cross B vector is perpendicular to velocity. Hence, if it is perpendicular, the net work done will become 0. So it means there is no work. Okay, there is no work on the particle. So this Lorentz force. So what we used formula F is equal to Q of V vector cross B vector is not giving any work done on the particle, charged particle. That is the answer. And now we are going to find out the power. So for that we are using work kinetic energy theorem formula. dW by dt is equal to P is equal to 0. This is from 4th unit of 11th standard volume 1. dW is equal to dt by dt is called as power. That power is 0. So because F vector dot V vector is 0, then F vector and V vector are perpendicular to each other. When it is perpendicular to each other, we can write the angle between Lorentz force and velocity of the charged particle is 90 degree. If it is 90 degree in the direction, the Lorentz force changes the direction of the velocity but not the magnitude of the velocity. It can change only the it can change only the direction of the charged particle or velocity, it can't change the magnitude of the velocity. Then we can write the Lorentz force does not do any work, and also there is no power in that, there is no altering kinetic energy of the particle. This is the answer we are concluded from this answer. So for this conclusion, we are getting help from the 11th standard, unit number 4. Okay, so are you clear, children? Yes, good. Next, we are entering into point 3.10.2, topic 3.10.2. So here we are going to discuss about motion of a charged particle. So how the charged particle here, because in this Lorentz force, the charged particle should move. We know that this is important point here. If it is rest means it won't give any force, so it should move. So in this topic, we are going to discuss about motion of a charged particle in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, and figure 3.45, it's explaining very clearly. Okay, so what is given in this figure? Say we are taking the charge with the value of Q with mass M. It is entering into the region of uniform magnetic field. So we are taking the single charge with the value of Q and its mass is M. It is entering into the region of uniform magnetic field B vector with the velocity. So what is velocity? It's a general concept, no? We studied this in earlier class. Velocity is nothing but rate of change of displacement. So it is, this charge is entering into the uniform. So note this point, uniform magnetic field with the velocity v vector. This velocity is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Okay, so in that angle, in that point, we are entering that. As soon as particle enters into the field, Lorentz force is act on the charge direction perpendicular to both the magnetic and velocity of the charge. So the moving charge is entering into the uniform magnetic field. So everything is given. Mass of the charge is m, q is charge, its velocity is v. Okay, and the Lorentz force is created, and this charge is acting perpendicular to both magnetic and field b vector and velocity v vector. So everything were explained. As a result of this above explanation, we can say this charged particles is moving in a circular orbit. It is moving with the circular orbit. So circular orbit means, okay, circular uniform motion means that particle or that object or that body should possess centripetal force. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? சென்ட்ரிபிட்டல் ஃபோர்ஸ் ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? லாஸ்ட் இயர் நிறைய டைம் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஓகே, இந்த வருஷமும் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி சில டாபிக்ஸ் நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணியிருப்போம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ சென்ட்ரிபிட்டல் ஃபோர்ஸ் இஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ஃபார்முலா. Okay, the force which is acting towards the midpoint of the circular motion object. Okay, and this force is acting towards where? Towards midpoint. இதெல்லாம் தெரியும். And what formula we used? அதுவும் தெரியும், mv squared divided by r. So this charged particle, charge q, is entering into the uniform magnetic field, then it is making circular path, then it should possess with the uniform circular motion, then we can say it is offering the centripetal force. Then we are writing the magnetic Lorentz force. This Lorentz force is acting on the particle, the magnitude of the net force and the particle. We can write the net force, we are combining the whole force, Fi is equal to Fm, that is equal to BQV. BQV force is acting. This Lorentz force acts centripetal force, causing the execute circular motion. Therefore, we can write the formula from the Lorentz force. This should satisfy the centripetal force. Then here we are writing BQV is equal to mv square divided by r. Okay, so what is the formula? BQV is equal to mv square by r, and from this r is equal to, you send the r to left hand side and BQV to right hand side. So already mv square is there divided by BQV. Understood, children? Okay, so r will goes left hand side, mv square already is there, BQ will become right, then v and v, one v will get cancelled, and the rest will become as mv divided by qb. Okay, mv divided by qb. Then, and see here, what is m? M is mass of the charged particle. V is its velocity. So mass into velocity is nothing but what? Linear momentum or momentum. So that can be written with the term symbol P. So this P is equal to what? Momentum mv. That is, we are replacing mv with the term P. Then this equation will become R is equal to P divided by QB. This is equation 3.57. Okay, and this is for linear momentum. And now we are taking the time t, time taken by the particle to complete one complete circular motion. So if it is completing one circular motion means we can write here. So here we are mentioning with the velocity formula, v is equal to what? Displacement by time taken. Okay, so one complete revolution means the time taken is taken as capital T here. So in a small t பதிலா capital T use பண்றோம். This is basic formula, no? V is equal to d by dt is the basic formula. Then V is equal to d is what? Displacement. So it covers on complete circular அப்படின்னா we can write its circumference of the circular motion is 2 pi r. So V is equal to 2 pi r divided by t. Then what is t? This t will goes left. Then we can write t is equal to 2 pi r divided by v. Understood? Capital T is equal to what? 2 pi r divided by v. That is written here as equation number 3.58. This is what? This is equation number 3.58. So after clearing the equation 3.58, we are substituting 3.57 in 3.58. This equation is substituted here. Okay, so which term we are going to substitute? R, radius of the circle, is substituted here. What is the r there? Then when we are substituting here, 2 pi already is there. What is the r value? mv divided by qb, and here already one v is there, and these two v will get cancelled. When it is cancelling, the term will become 2 pi m divided by qb. So we got this term, equation 3.59. Have you understood, children? It's a very simple derivation. So first we are using the Lorentz force general formula. So if it is circular motion, it should obey, it should be equal to centripetal force. Then Lorentz force should be shown as equal with the centripetal force. You know centripetal force, the force is acting towards the midpoint. If there is no centripetal force, that particle will not make a uniform circular motion. It will be go away or fall into the circle. இதெல்லாம் நம்ம 11th டீட்டெயில்டாக படிச்சிருக்கோம். நீங்களே இதில் வெல் வேர்ஸாக இருப்பீங்கிறது எனக்கு நல்லாவே தெரியும். ஸோ பேஸ்ட் ஆன் தட் வி ஆர் எக்ஸ்பிளைனிங். ஸோ ஃப்ரம் திஸ் ஈக்குவேஷன் வி ஆர் ஃபைண்டிங் ஆர் எம்விக்கு பதிலாக பி சப்ஸ்டியூஷன் பண்ணிட்டோம். ரொம்ப சிம்பிள் டெரிவேஷன் இது. தென் டைம் பீரியடோட ஃபார்முலா எடுத்திருக்கோம். ஃப்ரம் வெலாசிட்டி நான் சொன்னால வி டி பை டியிலேருந்து டைம் பீரியட் நம்ம டெரைவ் பண்ணிட்டோம். தென் வி ஆர் சப்ஸ்டியூட்டிங் ஆர், அதிலிருந்து நமக்கு இந்த டீயோட ஃபார்முலா 3.59 கிடச்சிருக்கு. ஓகே, and now from the time period, okay, this time period 3.59 is called as cyclotron time period. So what is cyclotron? So what is the application of that? What derivation? அதெல்லாம் நம்ம பின்னாடி படிப்போம். இப்போ ஜஸ்ட் உங்கள் மைண்டில் வச்சுக்கோ. This is called as what? Cyclotron period. And this reciprocal of time period, this reciprocal of the cyclotron time period will call as frequency. So reciprocal of time period frequency நம்ம லாஸ்ட் இயர் படிச்சிருக்கோம் தானே. Frequency is equal to reciprocal of the time period. Then we are substituting to find the frequency. This formula 3.59 is used. It will be taken as inverted method. F is equal to qb divided by 2 pi m. In terms of angular frequency, we can write the formula omega is equal to 2 pi into f. So what is the formula? Omega is equal to 2 pi into f. Then we are substituting the f value in this from this equation 3.60, 2 pi, okay, 2 pi into qb by 2 pi m. So this 2 pi and this 2 pi cancel when after substitution. Then the equation will become qb divided by m. This is what? Angular frequency. This equation 3.60 and 3.61 are called as cyclotron frequency or gyro frequency. And from the equations, three equations 3.59, 6-0 and 6-1, we can say the time period and frequency depends only on the charge to mass ratio. Only on what? Charge to mass ratio, but not on velocity or the radius of the circular path. You compare the three equations 3.59, 3.60, 3.61. There is no term for radius. Sorry, there is no term for velocity. It is based on what? Charge per mass, that ratio. Okay, in that circular path, we have to keep in that mind. If a charged particle moves in a region of uniform magnetic field, so its velocity is not perpendicular to the magnetic field. Its velocity, how we are making, is not perpendicular to the magnetic field. Then the velocity of the particle is split into two components. If it is not perpendicular, means it is splitting into two components. One component is parallel to the field. So how the one component is parallel to the field, and the other component perpendicular to the field. It is resolved into two components. One will be parallel to the field and next one will be a perpendicular to the field. And the component of velocity parallel remains unchanged, and component perpendicular to the field keeps changing because of the Lorentz force. Hence, the path of the particle is not a circle, it is a helical around the field lines as shown in the figure 3.46. How it is? Because it is, keeps changing. This Lorentz force is keeps changing the component, so the resultant will not give a circular path, it is moving like a helical path. For this we can give an example. The helical path of an electron when it moves in a magnetic field, it's shown in this figure 3.47, and inside the particle detector, which is called as cloud chamber, the path is made visible condensation of water droplets. About this we will discuss in second volume. இதில் ஜஸ்ட் நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறோம் க்ளவுட் சேம்பரில் என்னன்றது நம்ம செகண்ட் வால்யூமில் படிப்போம். இப்போதைக்கு என்னன்றதை மட்டும் தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்குவோம். Okay, so it is given clearly in 3.47. It's shown the movement of the path. So from this derivation, so from this answer, from this last question, we are using the magnetic Lorentz force. Then after using the magnetic Lorentz force, we are comparing with what? Centripetal force we are comparing. Then we are finding R. Then we are using the term time period. After substituting the time period, we are applying the formula for frequency. Then angular frequency is measured. This angular frequency is called as what? Cyclotron frequency or gyro frequency. Then these three equations clearly explaining the time period and frequency depends only on charge to mass ratio, not on velocity or the radius of the circular path. The charge is moves not a perpendicular, means it is resolved into two components, that is explained. It keeps changing, so the path of the charge is like a helical path, that is explained with the cloud chamber with the figure 3.47. So hope you understood very well about this answer, this explanation for motion of a charged particle in a uniform magnetic field. Now we will mark question answer, and this answer you can mark from the topic 3.10.2, and it will ends up to this water droplet. And this diagram, you have to draw this diagram, don't want this one, this photocopy. Then you have to draw this diagram. Okay, so write question, explain about motion of a charged particle in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, this is also important question and very easy derivation. ரொம்ப ரிஸ்க் எடுத்துலாம் டெரைவ் பண்ண தேவையில்ல. ரெண்டு ஈக்குவேஷன் வச்சுட்டு மாற்றி 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 நம்ம அப்டைன் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கோம். ரொம்ப சிம்பிள் டெரிவேஷன், ரொம்ப ஈஸி ஆன்சர். So you can mark this as important question. Also this question only is a homework question, for today's homework question. ஃபுல்லாக தரவு பண்ணிவிட்டு homework பார்ட்டில் இந்த ஆன்சரை பார்க்காம எழுதி பாருங்கள். கொஷினை ஃபஸ்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிவிட்டு then you throw the answer with the diagrams. Two diagrams you have to draw in this. ஸோ ஆன்சரை எழுதிட்டு பார்க்காம எழுதிட்டு ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்து நம்ம பர்சனல் வாட்ஸ்அப் நம்பருக்கு சென்ட் பண்ணிடுங்க. Okay, hope you understood. ஏதாவது டவுட் இருந்தாலும் surely you can discuss with me. Okay, and remaining topics we will discuss in next class. Thank you, children.